Hey, good night, everybody. How y'all doing? Y'all know who this is. This is your boy Rob Thomas Jr. and this is the real news. No, this ain't the real news behind news. This just a man putting out my point of view and responding to someone's comment on a Facebook post. See, what we got first of all, let me go through the formalities. Today is Sunday, January 23rd, 2022. And again, I'm not doing this video on behalf of the real news behind news. I'm doing this video on behalf of a man who simply understands how life really works. Now, I have somebody who supports me, Miss Elsibe Sneed. And I thank you for your support, Miss Elsibe. But let me keep it real. The Apostle Paul said something that made a lot of sense. And you know I'm not a religious person, but I do believe in the principles of the scriptures. The Apostle Paul said, "Have I become your enemy simply because I spoke the truth?" I noticed, Miss Elsibe, and I'm glad you're watching. And again, I'm going to be very respectful because I appreciate your support for what I do. But at the same time, I read your comments and I'm aware of your displeasure with what I had to say on a radio show that I was invited to be a guest on at the last minute. At the very last minute, Brother Alvin Oliver called me and asked me, would I come and do a radio show with them? And I agreed. Now, as I got to the radio show, now, hey, Jermaine, I know, hey, my brother, this is nothing personal against you, but I got to speak truth. And you and I will get together and do that which I said that I was going to do, but let me keep this real. Please I hope nobody gets offended, but the truth is what it is. Now, Miss Sneed, I noticed that you were upset because I didn't say things that would be sympathetic to the people at Woodlawn Terrace. Now, I'm finna put some shit out here on Facebook, some stuff out here on Facebook that a lot of people don't know. Guess what, Miss Sneed? I myself am homeless. Although the Creator has blessed me with a roof over my head, I don't have my own home like I used to. But guess what? I've been homeless almost pretty much since February of last year. When have you seen me on Facebook crying about that? There were times in the last year that I had to call people privately and ask them to help me buy food. Did you see me on Facebook with that? Did you see me on YouTube with that? Right now, again, if it wasn't for my family, Miss Need, I would not have a place to lay my head. But do you see me crying about that? You know what? You don't see me on Facebook every day talking about my living situation. You know why? Because every day I'm up at almost 5:30 or 6 o'clock every morning, getting off my ass, going to work on a job to try to change my situation. Instead of getting on Facebook crying about, poor me, I need help. Do y'all realize that in this pandemic, you got whole families who are being evicted right now because they lost their jobs? They wasn't getting rental assistance. I don't get rental assistance. You know the only rental assistance that I get is when I get up off my ass every morning and go out there and work a job to change my situation. True, there have been people who have blessed me. Because again, you don't know about the times I had to call a couple of people during the last year and ask them, can you help me pay for this hotel room for another week? Or can you help me buy some food? And at that time, I had 3 dogs. Me and 3 dogs living in a hotel room. Hey, what's up, King D. Rich? Give me a second, man. Let me just speak truth. And I'm not here to belittle, offend, disrespect anybody, but the truth is what it is. Again, the Apostle Paul said, have I become your enemy simply because I spoke the truth? Truth is, how the hell can I help somebody else with their housing situation when I don't even have a house of my own? How can I stroke somebody's ego to make them feel good about a situation that they need help with, but they getting rental assistance? I don't get none of that shit. Again, the only rental assistance I get is when I get up off my ass, get out that bed at 6 o'clock in the morning, even if it's 32 degrees, I got to go to work every day to change my situation. I'm not in a position to help somebody else with their living situation when I don't even have a roof of my own. So if I went to this interview on the radio today on the spur of the moment and everything in my mind was telling me to say this, make it sound pretty so people would like it, but I spoke the truth that people need to hear. Man, do you realize how many people here in Freeport are homeless right now that don't get assistance from the government to help them pay their rent? Do you realize, again, during this pandemic over the last 2 years, how many families are now being evicted because they didn't have the luxury of getting the government to pay for their rent? And now that the pandemic is over, the eviction moratorium is over, these folks are now being evicted. Do you see them on Facebook crying every goddamn day? So I'm not here to go off on you, but I'm here to go off and let you know there's people out here right now that don't have a fucking home, that don't have a place to lay their heads, that don't get rental assistance every month, but they got to get up off their ass every day and go work a job to try to change their situation. Now, I'm willing to help my brother Jermaine and others do whatever I can do to help them make their situation better. But how can I help somebody when I don't even have what they have? They have a home with their name on a lease. Even though stuff might be getting crazy for them, there's hundreds of thousands of people who don't even have that which they have. And again, this is no indictment on those people, but my reason for doing this is to let you know, just because I didn't say what you thought I should have said on that radio show, that's not